Today, I effed up by intoxicating the bartender and ruining a wedding. Here's the story. So this mess happened the summer before COVID, but I think the statutes of limitations is up so I can share it now. My wife and I went to her colleague's wedding. I'm not a huge drinker and didn't know anyone, so I planned to grab a cold beverage, find somewhere to post up, and nurse it while I got stoned and did some people watching. Which brings me to my substance. On the way to the wedding, I stopped at a dispensary and picked up a reusable vape pen. I never had a pen before, but I thought, I'm going to a wedding. I want something that won't make me sleepy or mentally handicapped. And the young woman at the counter handed me the pen. As my wife was driving, I tried it out. I also don't smoke much at once and have a hard time with smoking pipes. When I use those, they hit way too hard and I cough like crazy. So I took a small hit, noticed it hit hard, and thought, well, that's because you think everything hits too hard. Next thing I know, I'm at the reception, standing in line to grab drinks from the bartender, and I notice a tip jar. Realizing I don't have any cash, I asked, do you have Venmo or something? I know, lol. He said, nah, don't worry about it. But since I'm a service industry vet, I wanted to find a way to tip him. So I said, all right, man, if my wife has some cash, I'll double back. But in the meantime, if you party, and I showed him the pen. He's like, oh, for real? Hell yeah, dude. And takes a huge puff. Within seconds, he was doubling over, coughing uncontrollably. It was loud, and within a minute, he was on his hands and knees behind the bar, puking in the grass. Still, no harm, no foul, until he puts his weight on a tumbler glass to help himself up and cuts his hand open badly. And something very interesting happened. I started vomiting at the sight of blood. Naturally, this was pretty disruptive, and the groom, who was nearby, came over to see what was going on. The second he saw the bartender's hand, he fainted, smashing his head on the bar table and taking the tablecloth and everything on it down with him. Unmitigated disaster. Both of them had to go to the hospital, and the bride, understandably, was super upset and screaming at the caterers. I decided, well, it's been a good life, and started to explain to her what happened when she shouted a series of specific slurs at the catering company owner. I didn't even get a word out before she said, "Sue me!" turned on her heel, and told her people to just round up their stuff and go. Cue a major disaster. Everyone is fighting and almost all the guests left. I told my wife what happened on the drive home, and she suggested I call the catering company to apologize. I did. And the owner laughed for about 30 seconds before saying, well, whatever.